Welcome, traveler. You have summoned the Phoenix Gate, or it has summoned you. This gate appears when comfort readings will no longer provide the clarity you need. I am the Golden Rose, priestess and psychopomp through this reading where we are going to see why your life keeps repeating itself. And if you are ready, the crossing begins. What is the current state of my viewer? What is the current state of my viewer? Come on. The current energetic state. It's too many. Too many. Just one. Just one. I accept. And so, not an Ishtar, mystery and sexuality. Ishtar is also another name for Inanna, who is the divine feminine Christ story. So she is the 3-day resurrection arc, redemption arc that parallels the Christ story from ancient Sumerian, I believe. I believe it's Sumerian. Ishtar is the same goddess, same time period, different cultures. So, but they're the same goddess, different cultures named for her. So we have some resurrection there. When I see these coming up together, not she is the goddess of night, darkness, mystery. So things that are hidden. But night is also like there's an expansion that is occurring in nighttime, right? Like we think of how expansive and vast the sky is. You don't get as much of a concept of how big it is during the daytime, because the blue sky does not hold as much depth as a dark night one does. So there is expansion that is occurring within the night energy. I am really getting some Kundalini energies rising in this, but before I say any more, I need a little bit more clarification. But I feel like there's some Kundalini going on here, some expansion of energies. What pattern keeps repeating in my viewer's life? What pattern keeps repeating in my viewer's life? Moon energy, things being revealed. You might want to pay attention to the cycles of the moon too. Feminine cycles. Pattern that keeps repeating in your life. I'm picking up the same note. You've got some expansion going on. You are a naturally expansive being. Looking this one up though, just to add a little bit more depth to this. Okay. Atman is a Sanskrit word meaning eternal self. It refers to the real self beyond the ego and beyond human form, the self that survives beyond death. The eternal self card embodies the concept of Atman, representing the part of your soul that inhabits a human body to live a lifetime on earth. The soul sends a beam of light like a hologram to play in each earth classroom. You came here for a reason and have a set of goals to fulfill while you are here. Your current lifetime is a quest you accepted before you were born. Your quest could be to do what makes you happy and follow your dreams, even though others may be trying to stop you with logic and pessimism. Or it could be to master the art of focusing on your goals without distractions or procrastination. Perhaps your goal is unconditional love or stepping into your personal power, or it could be to release family trauma. So the bloodline of ancestral suffering finally stops with you. That would be a resurrection arc. The curing the ancestral trauma. As you heal, so too do your ancestors and descendants. And this card has appeared before you to remind you that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. So the pattern that keeps repeating in our life is this resurrection story, this journey of self-discovery, actualization, and individuation. Source descending into form, forgetting that it is source so that it can find itself and discover itself again and return to itself again. This card has appeared before you to remind you that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. It asks you to be fully present in each moment, to taste, touch, smell, and feel every emotion and truly enjoy your glorious human body. Existing in spirit form is your natural way of being, but there is nothing like the human experience. It is made to feel so real, so relish it. To activate your third eye and help you remember who you are and why you came here, imagine a deep indigo light emanating from your forehead and surrounding your whole body in the beautiful color. Wear dark blue or purple to bring the color into your consciousness. So the loop that you keep repeating is this awakening loop. It's reincarnation loop, right? So you're on the reincarnation loop. How interesting. I like the direction this is going. We're talking about why your life keeps repeating itself, and about comfort readings will no longer provide the clarity needed. And here we have somebody experiencing expansion, the loop of resurrection, reincarnation. Very interesting. I am curious where this is going next. What part of my viewer participates in maintaining this loop? Reliving lifetimes. That's what I am hearing in my head. Reliving lifetimes. So you may be stuck in reviewing the past. A little addicted to growth and expansion in spirituality. You may be fully awake and seeking the high of awakening. So the part of you that participates in maintaining, we have some spiritual ego, taking your power back. There is some addiction to the process, the thrill of awakening. A little addiction to the kind of like the opposite side of the addiction to the suffering. You know, addicted to the discovery. But really being at a point in this where you're awake and it's time to stop cycling. Might be someone who's on their last lifetime through here. This might be the end of your journey repeating these cycles, you little loop breaker. Let us see where we're going next. What truth would break this cycle? Oh, I was holding those the wrong way. Truth would break this cycle. Following the path. Like the whole purpose of awakening is so that we can step into service and purpose. what I see is someone who is maybe staying in this healing loop, this awakening loop, this seeking of further consciousness, more teachers, looking for a further mentor when you've learned everything you need to learn, because you might have a fear of pursuing your path, the fear of success, some imposter syndrome going on, but I think that there's some fear of being seen after healing. We put a lot of our identity into the things that we do. Even the process of awakening and the patterns of healing become identities if we are not careful. What I am seeing is someone who is ready to break the reincarnation loop, ready to stop living the cycles of review and redemption, and ready to step into a path and take a direction in purpose. You've done the work. You don't need another teacher. You don't need to teach anybody else. You need to start living it. What are you afraid will happen if you change? I think this is somebody who's afraid that it might bring them more than what they want. Like maybe you are not wanting the responsibility or leadership, but feeling that that is what is calling it towards. Kind of like Moses. I'm picking up kind of a Moses vibe. Moses was called into a great purpose. He envisioned it as setting his people free, right? If we take it literally. If we take it as if it is a literal story, and many people have demonstrated the similar phenomena, so we can treat it as an actual thing that people experience. You're called into leadership, you have the imposter syndrome, you don't feel up to the task. You don't want it. So you try to balk and to stop it and to try to say, hey, no, I've still got this deficit, this weakness. Well, what this is pointing to is that, God doesn't call the ready. He makes you ready as he sends you on the way. Okay. What are you afraid will happen if you change? That you'll have to face the Pharaoh. That is what I'm hearing. And then the people will follow. And you will be responsible for their well-being and care. Werewolf. Only the moon knows what it takes to hide this turmoil. Two sides of the same tortured soul. Sorry, I just realized my mic wasn't on this whole time. I'm sorry about that. So the werewolf. Only the moon knows what it takes to hide this turmoil, two sides of the same tormented soul. So you have a purpose, a path, and a calling, but you've got some self-doubt. I think that this is kind of indicating like the werewolf is a monster. It's something big and dark and is a threat to people. I think something in you also views yourself as the bad guy in this, right? Like you've got some of the villain seeding in your archetype. Like, oh, if I step into this position, this power, this authority, what if people find out this truth, this secret about my past? How will they feel about that? And then will I be able to handle that judgment, that criticism if they really knew me? That is kind of what, there's the fear of being seen after healing comes from like the residue of that shame, right? Like we know all of our shadows intimately. And part of that is when I step into these new places I have never been, these places of leadership and authority, when I have lived my life in some form of humility, guilt, or shame my entire life, or ego, are the people there going to respond to me differently, or are they going to still represent these patterns and things that I fear? Okay, so that's kind of what the werewolf energy is speaking to me. So that is what you are afraid of. You're afraid of social judgment from other people. It's kind of like you're you have a very high view of the crowds and communities that you want to step into and lead and participate in and create within. But you are still very hard on yourself about how you view yourself for these aspects of shadow that you have had to, these survival patterns that you had to create to protect yourself when you were younger. But you've done the work, you're over that. It's the saying, quit cycling. It's time to step out. Okay, this is calling you forward. This one right here was a what truth would break this cycle? Step on the path. This is what you're afraid will happen. So you have to face this fear of other people seeing your shadow. You see the value in it. And it is your greatest tool to help others see the value in it. Now I've got that, the werewolf in Harry Potter, right? His uncle. Not all werewolves are bad. Okay? Just saying. So let us pause at this threshold to kind of take in the view. We have felt what was ending and what truths asked to be faced. Change often carries grief, a loss of identity alongside liberation, letting go of this perspective of self. Before we take flight from here, take one audible, slow breath to release this. In and out. Now, let us reveal the wings that you are forming in this. What choice ends the loop entirely, permanently? Ishtar and Inanna are also about agency, like stepping into your own authority. Choice ends the loop permanently. So this is the Four of Cups. Review. You may feel disconnected or uninspired, unable to see the opportunities around you. Take time to reflect on what you truly desire. A shift in perspective can reveal the gifts already present in your life. This is telling you to get up out of this energy. The gifts are already present. So take just a moment to review and see that the gifts are already present. If you focus on the wolf side of the werewolf, you're missing the man. And you're also demonizing the wolf and not seeing the benefits of the wolf. Okay, we're not here to turn ourselves into monsters. We're here to integrate back into what we are meant to be. These are strengths that we learned in trauma, like cages. All right. What are they becoming? Who are they becoming beyond this pattern? The emerging self from this period of review. They get up out of this review and step into their path. Because again, this is kind of the energy where these are. Okay. And the choice that ends the loop permanently is to step out of those energies. So who are they becoming beyond this pattern? Oh, I am losing these all over the place. Pay attention to what we're doing with the cards. Just follow your intuition. Step into your path. The answers you seek lie within. Trust your inner voice and allow it to guide you through uncertainty. Patterns from the past may obscure your vision, but your intuition knows the truth. Create stillness in your life to assess the clarity and wisdom already within you. Okay. Just remember that this isn't a state of belonging. We aren't supposed to be here long. Just long enough to see the gift and then proceed with the courage we have. There's nothing asking us to have more courage than we have in the moment, but we proceed with the courage we have, and more will be met with us along the way. What single action proves they are crossing into their new phase? Tell my viewer that they are successfully transitioning across this threshold and out of this state of what appears to be stagnancy. You're stuck in the cycles of healing and needing to step into the cycles of service, needing to take up the mantle of responsibility. I'm hearing the "I'm a bad guy," the Billie Eilish song, right? So you're demonizing yourself a bit. Stop it. Stop it right now. Oh my goodness. Stop it. Oh, throat clearing. I apologize for that so much. Stop it. It's causing you delay. That is your single action that proves you're crossing into your new phase. You will see an end to delay when you move. Trust your intuition and take the moves, okay? Do you have more available at your hand than you are convincing yourself of? Delay is never a denial. Sometimes it's just not the right time, but this is all telling you you've sat here too long. This is causing the state of delay. And your intuition is telling you to move on to your path. So the proof that you are crossing into your new phase is you will feel the movement. You will move on. Like you moving is your own proof. Okay, that's your responsibility. This is all about you're avoiding responsibility. There's a fear of judgment that other people will see your shadow. Your shadow is your greatest gift because other people are carrying their own and they need to see how you are living with it and carrying yours so that they know that they can carry theirs. And you are. Like that werewolf isn't out completely running amok, not as much as you think it is. What internal or external support is available to my viewer? And no, it will not be a silver bullet. Whoa. That was almost tragic. Oh, goodness. That deck just about flew all over the place. Apparently, it wants to say all the words. All the words. Move on. Get on the path. Get on the path. Once we have learned what we are, we have addressed our core wounds, we have learned some coping mechanisms, and we have started to reclaim some level of success in our lives and taken our power back. With great power comes great responsibility. Spirit, your higher self, is saying, dude, I was built for this. Let's get to it. It's time to evolve. I don't want to be stuck in this identity anymore. I've outgrown these shoes. Get me new ones. Support, do they have available to them? Internal or external? As they are preparing to move on and get themselves out of this delay energy. The Weaver. Rediscovery and transition. You will be able to see a larger perspective. So like the Taylor energy, the Taylor is being able to see the thread, like the tree. The Weaver is seeing the tapestry, the forest. So you are going to be able to see a bigger picture of things than what you are right now. Right now you're looking at things pretty narrowly. You're probably focusing on the wolf, right? But there's a bigger picture. And the wolf is only feral because you haven't fed it with purpose. If you feed it with purpose, it hunts with your pack, right? That's how we got dogs. So don't demonize your wolf. It is a tool and you know how to use it. Redirect it towards your purpose instead of towards your past and malice and vengeance, right? And it becomes a tool to help others do the same thing. So when you have the Weaver, you're going to be in these state of transitions, which means you will see your life advance and grow and expand. You will see new opportunities. You will have new insights. You will see an expansion of ideas that you've already carried, right? So whatever you touch is going to create and turn into something new, even things that you haven't been able to imagine. That you have to get up. What message does their evolved self send back to them now? And oh my goodness, I will laugh so hard if it's the wolf. But I have a feeling, like I see a peacock. I feel like there's a duplicitous peacock because I feel like there's a little ego holding you back. Like the ego is trying to convince you that the shadow side of you is going to be viewed more harshly by others than it is because somebody treated you poorly when you were small. And that isn't okay that they did that, but that isn't your story now, and people will not view your story that way. And you know that. There are too many other people out there with the same story. We've all heard them. We all see them on YouTube channels. So we know reasonably that these are myths that we tell ourselves that other people won't accept us if they see our flaws. All right. What does your future self send back to you as message? Horse. Move on. Momentum. This is momentum. When you do this, you will be carried forward rapidly, quickly, and successfully. Move on. Get a move on. That is your message. Move it. I like to move it, move it. We like to move it. The Phoenix Gate has opened. The fire has claimed true. The ashes have been witnessed. The wings are forming. What you carry forward from this gate is yours to nurture, protect, and grow. Transformation is rarely loud. It is often quiet choices repeated over time. You are allowed to move at the pace your truth requires. Thank you for crossing this threshold beside me. If this reading spoke to your journey, you are invited to share what resonates in the comments. Until the next gate summons.